Welcome to the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. Each show will be filled with news, interviews, technology, and reviews all about you, the writer. And now here's our host, H.D. Campbell. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Author's Corner, and as always, I'm your host, H.D. Campbell. We're back with I'm not wearing a tie today because we're doing a very special show today on location from St. Louis, Missouri, where I'll have my first sit-down interview with Thormac author LaShonda Hoffman. Then later I'm going to have a discussion about GPA, about his poetry and his sensuality within his words. Then I'm going to have a special author's corner all about email scams. In between, I'm going to show you outtakes from my trip, which will be on the show and online immediately after the show is taped. So when we come back, we're going to get straight to it, and we're going to talk to LaShonda Hoffman. Next, we'll talk to Thormac author LaShonda Hoffman, taped on location from St. Louis, then a few outtakes. Love can be hard, but finding love can be like walking through miles of desert with a half a cup of water. Read one person's journey in How to Lose a Black Woman. Buy it on my website for only $5 during May and June at www.hdcampbell3.net. When a Russian nuclear warhead stolen in 1991 is discovered in Paris, the government asked the United States for help. They sent over their top strategist, codenamed Sergeant Wiseguy. Coupled with a smart mouth, can he work with the Parisian government in uncovering the plot before the warhead is used? Buy Sergeant Wiseguy Chronicles at your favorite bookstore or at these websites. Welcome back to the Author's Corner. For my first sit-down interview, I wanted to interview an old friend of mine. Her name is LaShonda Hoffman. You all know her as the founder of Thormac Magazine, a reviewing magazine which helps authors get elevated through promotion. About 13 years ago, LaShonda, her mother, and myself all formed a small writers guild in which we used to encourage each other. Well, she's still doing the exact same thing with Thormac Magazine, and 13 years later, despite life, she has continued on. Here's the interview. Hopefully, all the noise is gone. All right. Well, first I want to congratulate you on starting and having a successful run with Thormac Magazine. It's still doing great today. Can you tell everybody how and when it got started?
Thormac was an idea for me to say thank you to the romance writers that I used to just read. And I wanted a way to be able to interview them, do book reviews, and promote their books. And so that's how I started it. And I actually, to be honest, did not believe that it was going to go for 11 years. I thought I'd be on for 1 year and go on by my business.
Right.
But it blew up faster to me than I expected.
Right.
But it has been a blessing. I have met many wonderful writers. I have learned so much about the business. And it's became a dream that I didn't even know I had.
Okay. Well, what kind of services does Thormac provide?
Well, free services. We do interviews with authors. We do book reviews, articles, and then for our paid, we do paid advertisement, which is eBlast, and we do like book promotions, information about if you're having book signings and things like that. So it just depends on what your budget is. We usually try to work with you.
Okay.
Put something together.
That's excellent, excellent. So how many authors do you think offhand or that you can keep track of that you've worked with?
Wow, 11 years, a lot. When I first started, I probably did, when I first started, it was online and it was on the website and it was every other month, bi-monthly.
Okay.
And I probably interviewed like 12 authors every other month. Now I'm down to, I interview 8 authors a month, and then I do like 4 or 5 blog tours, so it's you know, like 5 or 6 extra authors thrown in there. So it's over hundreds of authors. I can't even start to name any of them. So many.
I understand that. Well, since you work with so many authors, I do need to ask, are you working on a book yourself?
Yes, I am. That was my dream before SOAR-MAG, was to become a published author. And for those who know that are aspiring, it's not as simple as that. You write a book and then you're going to be published. Take years and years. And but I'm still working at it. Right now I'm working in a different genre. I started off writing romance. Then I went to Christian fiction. And now I am writing young adult, which is really interesting because I have created a whole world and I'm just making up all kind of stuff. So that's fun. And I say if you're going to write something that's fun. So you like to do it every day versus just writing it just to get paid. A lot of people start off writing just to get paid and then they find out they don't get money. Not a lot of money anyway. So you have to do it because you love it, because there's no chance that you're going to get paid. And I've been writing since I was 16. I decided I wanted to be a writer. But I didn't get serious until 1999. And I decided this is it, I'm going to try it. But it's been a struggle because you learn something every day. And I can say that the time that I have not been published I've been in a university is what I call it. You know, learning this business, learning what it takes to be a good writer, what it takes to promote. And I'm thankful that I haven't gotten published because I wasn't ready. And I know now that I'm ready, but back then I wasn't ready. I had not a clue. I thought I was going to be a bestseller.
We all were there at that point.
Times, you know, I was going to hit it, and I was going to be making movies, and, you know, everybody's dream. But reality hit me in the face, and it doesn't go like that. You know, some people are blessed that it does, but most times you're lucky if you get one book published, you know. So my dream is to be a writer who is published multiple times. So I'm waiting patiently for God to let it happen when He says it happens, instead of LaShonda.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, HD, because it's nice to see somebody that you know who's struggling make it, and that, you know, that gives you hope and encouragement that one day it can happen for you. You know, everybody's seasons is different times, and it took me a long time to learn that one. That my season isn't somebody else's season, you know, and I put my writing back because I did do the magazine. I thought, well, okay, maybe this is my writing, the magazine, you know, but the people kept calling me in my head, you know, come write about me, tell my stories, you know, and finally, you know, after 5 years, I realized, LaShonda, writing is in your soul. You have to write. If you never get published, at least you can say you wrote your book. Exactly. You know, and so that's my dream, is to finish the book, because for years I wrote one book. A long, probably about 10 years, and I would not recommend that to anybody, but I was just writing fun. It wasn't serious. I never thought it was going to get published, so I just was playing with it, as I call it. But when I decided, hey, this is really what I wanted to do, and then I realized I need to write more books. I need to put them in the closet, so when it's my turn, I have some books. So I recommend that. Write, finish 4 or 5 books, so when it's your turn, you won't be a one-hit wonder.
Well, you mentioned writing for fun, and see, that's the thing, that's what it's all about. If you love doing it, you know, the fun part as opposed to getting paid,
right?
You know, if you love it and you keep at it, you know it's going to happen for you.
Well, I hope so. I've seen a lot of my friends get published, so I just keep hope alive.
it will definitely stay alive for you, I do promise you that. Speaking of which, we both have a past.
A good past.
Yeah, me, you, and your mama have a past. Yeah, it is a good past, so look, I'm going to turn this camera around for a second. Am I right? All right. Don't be coming around looking for some scandalous past between me and LaShonda. Me, her, and her mama just started the Writers Club together. That's all we did.
Right.
You know, so because of that past, you know, we started a group called the St. Louis Creative Black Writers Guild. And this was back when we all were in college. Has that influenced you in any way?
Oh my goodness, it was a learning experience. For first, it was the first of many groups that I've started, and it helped me be an organized person. it helped me meet other writers, which what you need sometimes is to talk to somebody who understands the writing business, who understands the people calling you in your head, you know. And Henry was, oh, a blessing, because he was so enthusiastic, and I just loved that. And I would come to our meeting on Friday, hype, we gonna get published, we ready. Yeah.
You breaking the rule. You ain't supposed to make the guy that interviewing you blush. You ain't supposed to be doing that. Show me, make me blush, people.
And he was so excited about it. It made me excited. And we would come in here with our little meeting, our plans. We were ready, and we would get excited, and we would bring all these new people in, and they'd be excited, and you know. And we met a lot of people, and we were discussing off camera about a man that told us about self-publishing, and at the time being published meant getting a big company, you know, backing you up. And we were like, nobody want to get self-published, man, crazy. But he had told us, and I wish now that I listened to him then, but he told us to get $3,000 together.
Yep.
And publish each one, take one person's book and publish it, and that money you make off of that, publish the next person's book. Did we listen?
No.
We probably would be published if we listened to him, because $3,000 is nothing now. You think about it, you go, oh man, all of us could have put in a couple of, you know, it was like 10 of us, so we could have did it, you know. But it was a learning experience, because, you know, it was exciting to be on the fresh path of writing and meeting new people who were excited about writing. We had poetry writers, and we had suspense writers, and we had all kinds of different writers. So it was really nice. And then the world of love came into it, and I got married and moved on. Henry moved on, and we moved on, and we you know, kind of let the writers group go on. But it was always in the back of my head that one of us is going to make it.
Right.
So it was nice to see Henry out there, you know, and I was like, oh my God, he made it, yes. So, you know, it's exciting. And you know what he did? He self-published. But he has good books out there, and I'm one of his supporters, and so that makes it good.
Thank you. I want to go off the record. Am I good?
Yes.
All right. I want to go off the record to say, if Mr. Peoples is out there and he slaps any of us on the back of the head, I ain't mad at him.
Right.
But we should have listened the first time.
We're sorry.
We're very sorry. I never would have slapped me in the back of the head, like I told you.
Well, you end up listening, you know. It took a while, you know, but you have to learn, and I think that's the thing. You have to learn from your mistakes and from advice that other people give you, you know. And you want to do something. You were saying you want to do your own publishing business, so he, you know, his advice helped, because you want to go to that point. So that's good.
I'm telling you, I mean, he probably mad at us now, like I told you so.
Well, when he, you know, one day you have a book signing and you'll see it. Or Mr. People, and we go, hey! Thank you for putting the ideal in our heads way in the back.
Now, if you see the show, we all getting slapped in the back of the head. I hope you know that.
But it's about planting the seed. And
right.
He planted the seed about being published, so it was exciting to see somebody with a book that that was their own, you know. So that was exciting, and I think that pushes you forward, because you know that the dream is real. It can happen for you. So.
Well, I want to revert this back to you now.
Okay.
You done made me blush all over the place. I'm going to just say this: you're a superwoman in the literary world.
Oh, well, thank you.
And much like most of the superwomen I've interviewed over the past, you're a wife, you're a mother, you have a career along with managing SOAR-MAG, and you're writing a book. Please, how do you keep it all together?
Who says I keep it all together? Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's hard. It's really hard. But I try to stay really organized with SOAR-MAG, because I want to keep it professional. And, you know, I got my little calendar, and I try to put everything in there. That keeps my sanity, because if I just went on LaShonda, nobody would get anything done, you know. So I try to stay professional with SOAR-MAG, because that's the image that I promote, and I want to keep it that way. And I respect the artists that I promote, so I try to keep that professional. On my regular life, I'm crazy. My kids drive me crazy. I wonder sometimes, why am I doing this? Why am I sitting up for hours writing? I'm never going to get published. It's never going to happen, you know. But I believe in dreams, and I tell my kids that, to believe in your dreams and do something that makes you happy. And if I didn't have Sormeg, I don't know what life would be like, because I started Sormeg on a whim, and I never dreamed that it would make a big difference in my life, that it would change my whole life around. So do something that makes you happy, and you'll get a little organized. You'll be cuckoo sometimes, you know, but I love it, and I wouldn't change 1 minute other than not being published, but you know, it'll happen, because I know that I'm getting better, I'm learning, and one day somebody's gonna say, hey, we like this. Or if not, then I'm gonna be like Henry and publish my own book.
Hey,
really stepping out for LaShonda.
Listen, I got your back whenever you're ready for that. I got your back.
Okay.
So, guess what? I put you and me on the spot, but I'm about to put your mama, Miss Brenda Turner. Please forgive me, Miss Turner. I'm sorry. But how's she doing?
My mom, she had a few issues. She is, she's a diabetic, and her kidneys failed on her, and so she went on the kidney machine. And it was touch and go for a long time.
Sorry to hear that, by the way.
For a long time, we've had some issues, and she moved in with me for like 6 years, and I was her caregiver, and all the other stuff that went around with, which was wild, crazy a little bit. But that's your mama, so you gotta take care of her.
Right.
And then she's doing wonderful though. My youngest sister has her now. She's staying with her. And she has been blessed, because she's been there 2 years, and she has not been in the hospital, has not had any issues, praise God, and she's doing a lot better, and she's happy, so. And she's reading again, because she has stopped reading, and I miss my reading buddy, but she's reading again. She's thinking about, she wants a Kindle for her birthday, so I know things are changing. She's
somebody can get in trouble, they don't get her no Kindle. I'll come at you myself.
She's like, I'm getting a Kindle for my birthday. Now, she's buying it for herself. That's her present.
Oh, she buying it for herself.
Yeah, she's already said it. She's putting her Bible on there and any other book she wants. So she's doing really good. She hasn't written anything. We wrote a historical together, and I told her I really would like to get it published, because so she can, you know, see her name in print too. So I don't think she'll do any more writing now, but it'd be nice to see that in print form.
Yeah, I mean, really wanted us to do some writing again. I miss her. Definitely tell her I said hi.
I will. She asks about you all the time when I talk about you online. Henry's online. Tell her I say hi.
Oh, definitely. I would love to talk to her again. I have read your website. It's great, by the way.
Thank you.
I do have a personal question, though.
Okay.
Why do you no longer do erotica?
Oh man, that was a big fight with a lot of people, and I lost a lot of friends over that one. But it wasn't because I dislike erotica. It was mainly because of the covers. The covers were getting outrageous. And I started sending out e-blasts, and I was getting a lot of complaints. I don't like this, I don't like that. And then I have a daughter that reads, and so I had to decide if I wanted to represent, stuff to her. I read romance, and romance could get a little wild, but the covers didn't look like, butt-naked women all the time. And
right.
It had got to that point, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to say no. And it was hard because that's a lot of money. Everybody went to erotica, and if it was all about money, I would have stayed with it. No, it was about my morals and what I wanted to represent with Sormeg. And when I first started, we didn't do erotica, and so I had to go back to what I did originally. I went to erotica because a few of my friends wrote, and I just wanted to help them out, promote them. But when it started getting really raunchy, the covers, I don't know what's in between the pages, but the covers were just outrageous. And when you open up a website, that if somebody's at work opening up my website, I want them to be able to open it and not have a problem with their job. And I want, if their child popped by their laptop, they wouldn't be embarrassed about it, So I had to decide that if I wanted to continue or not, and so I said no, and started a fight with everybody.
Hold on one second. My next question is, what genres do you accept?
We do romance, mainstream, non-fiction, literary, suspense,
everything but erotica. That's about the only thing we do. We do some urban. You know, it just depends on the cover. I try not to get too wild because, like I said, it's, you know, when you're at work and you're looking at a site, you can't pull it up. You know, people not gonna come back if they can't open your site without, you know, feeling afraid that they're gonna get fired. Then I have to think about that. And do I want the person to come back to my site? And that's the whole thing about websites. You want them to continually to come back.
I really enjoyed the interview, and also be on the lookout for new things going on with me jointly with Swordman here coming soon. Now, as promised, I'm going to give you a few outtakes before we go to break.
Alright, I won't put
You got sleep here tonight.
For now, I just shoot everybody else. Where you going, Skylar? Hey, do me a favor, say something for me.
Say something for me.
Yeah. Alright, there we go. I'm not recording you. Now say something. Do a little bit. There you go. Now, are you excited about going to St. Louis? Alright. You gonna have a good time? Alright.
First, Michelle Nichols offered you a piece of herself and a piece of me. Then she teased you with a little sexual seduction. And now she's taking you on a road of emotions. Road of Emotions, coming soon to your favorite bookstore or Z's website. Welcome back to the Author's Corner. My next interview is with a man who is so great with his words. I mean, you just have to hear for himself. A lot of you ladies and some of you men may know who he is. His name is GPA, who stands for Greatest Poet Alive. You get to know more about him and his name right now. Here's GPA.
The name started like this. GPA is short for the acronym or whatever the case may be for Greatest Poet Alive. And when I came up with the name, it accidentally wound up on my first book, The Confessional Heart of a Man, by mistake. Because it was supposed to say my real name, and it was supposed to say, AKA the Greatest Poet Alive. And supposed, like, you know, sort of play on words funny, But when the book came out, they left my real name off, and that was there. So I said to myself, you know what? This might be kind of cool. Because with a name like that, okay, you already know you're going to get some flack. Even though I couldn't imagine it was going to be as much as it was. How many people were going to be as sensitive as they were.
Right.
But you're going to get a lot of notoriety. Some people are going to notice you, and that's going to be a good Google thing. And people are going to get opportunities other people may not get. Even if you're just pretty good, they're going to be like, well, let's see what he's all about. So, in my first year of performing and writing, when my book came out, so in 2009, I went through that and I said, you know what, I'm going to do something else, because a lot of people would review my book, a lot of people would have me on shows, anything like that, because of the whole Greatest Poet Alive thing. So I said, okay, I'm going to choose something else to go along with it. And I'm a Criminal Minds fan, so I came up with GPA, the poetic unsub. Unsub being the bad guy. Unsub being somebody who's always in constant movement and is trying to catch you. So GPA, the poetic unsub. Still the Greatest Poet Alive with the GPA, but the poetic unsub. You just call me GPA, that's cool. You know, that's where all that came from.
I love that. I love that. That's pretty cool, man. And I'm telling you, that's definitely getting you notoriety. Just your name alone, because it makes people wonder, who is he? Let me find out what he's got. We'll find out what he's all about. And I'm telling you, it's getting you a good fan base here. So, how long? Huh? I'm sorry.
No, I said I'm trying. I try to, I try to keep myself on point. I try to keep myself out here. And the biggest thing with that was there are a million poets. You're on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There are a million people who are poets or call themselves poets or who write poetry, with a million easily. And those are just the people on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to separate yourself somehow or another. Everybody can have some great poets too. They write very well, or they perform very well. So you have to have something else to separate yourself. It's like anything else. So I figure, hey, with the name, we start there. And being a little modest, I write pretty well. And I perform pretty well. So I just happen to have a name, and I happen to have a relentless nature about me that separates me from a lot of other people. So there we
Well, I read some of your stuff, and I'm in full agreement. You do write very well, and I like your writing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
How long have you been writing?
Since 2007.
And pretty much so. And what got you started?
Well, I don't know if you know or not some of my background, but I was incarcerated, federally incarcerated, and I've always written poetry, but it was always like it was always just to women, you know. Yeah, I came up an ugly kid, you know, dark skin and all that. When wasn't cool to be dark skin, so I needed an edge. So I wrote poetry, you know. Oh, you saw, so you're very pretty. I like to take you, you know, stuff that right now I would look at it and I would squint up my face at, but it was enough to get attention here, there, and the other. And then when I was incarcerated, I got serious. I said I wanted to do something while I was incarcerated. And so in 30 days, I wrote my first book, the best-selling, critically acclaimed The Confessional Heart of a Man. And it basically was therapeutic for me because inside myself, my childhood, and insecurities and what have you, and experiences that I hadn't been able to like talk about or whatever, so I got them out in the book. And so from there, I just, you know, with anything, when you start doing it enough, and then you start finding out that you're pretty good at it, you start, if you're a winner, you start wanting to get even better at it. You don't stop.
Right.
So from there, I crossed over into delving into erotica, and the funny thing about that is my erotica is not like everybody else's erotica. My erotica, you could read around some ladies, and they won't get offended.
Right.
You won't see certain expressions, offensive or vulgar, profane or whatever that you might see or hear from someone else.
Right.
So I believe poetry is when it comes from a man, I believe poetry is a gentleman's language. I believe that. So I write every day. I use my status. I don't know if you've seen. I use my status to write. I write in my own rhyme book. I rhyme through SMS messages on my phone to a group of people who like to listen to me, my supporters.
Mm-hmm.
I rhyme every day. I do something just trying to stay proficient because I know there's somebody there who's writing too. And I don't want to fall off I don't want to fall off ever. Even when my physical's no longer here.
Right.
I don't want to fall off. I want to still be here relevant. Like, wow, read this here or listen to this, what he did. You know, so.
No, you want people to be talking about you way after you're gone, which is pretty cool. I wanted to make a statement about the erotica, though. I guess if I can put in other words, you're writing more for the sensual than you are the sexual, pretty much. Is that
very accurate? That's very accurate because I believe the first, the sensual, with the base word, SDNS, and it comes with senses.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, like in my book, the Book of 24 Orgasms.
I love that name, by the way.
I believe in having sex. Please don't get me wrong, anything like that. I believe in sex. Sex is a good thing. But I believe from a man to a woman, and I'm a man, so from a man to a woman, I believe that the orgasm starts a long time before they're ever even in close physical proximity. I believe with a phone call, with a good morning, with a, hey, you look great this morning. And she comes back and she says, well, how do you know you didn't see me? Did you see me? And you say something like, if you're quick on your feet, you say, well, I have a good memory from when I saw you the last time. Or it's an intelligent guess on my part. I know I'm not wrong. And that way, you've already aroused her mental. You've already got her thinking, wow, he was thinking enough about me to say that I look good, and I look a mess, and then you come back and say something like, well, I doubt it. Then I bet you your mess is a pretty mess. Something, whereas it's complimentary, but that's how it starts, because you can't just lay your hands. I mean, we're men. Okay, let's be honest, we're men.
Yeah.
We're rough, hairy creatures. Okay, we're rough, hairy, big creatures.
Absolutely.
Our touch or whatever has to be preceded by soft words, soft thoughts expressed through those words, and building a foundation for the orgasm. my whole machination behind my writing.
Man, I just gotta tell you, man, you're deep, you're sensual. You're making me jealous. You making me jealous, man. I'm sorry, man. Now I gotta get my words tight. What's up with that, man? And get my words tight up. No, I'm just playing. But no, that man, that is deep, man. That makes me feel deep.
What the dude was saying, Revenge of the Nerds, he said, cause I grew up a nerd, you know, I always read books, read comic books, hang around with my mom.
I still do.
Play video games.
Right.
We thought about that stuff. I mean, I thought about that. You know, I like I said, it wasn't until, you know, I got on or got a little bit bigger or I lifted weights or something like that, but hey, and dark skin came in and anybody gave me any mind.
Right.
But before that, these are just things I think. And my point of reference, HD, is different from a lot of poets. My point of reference isn't contemporary, and no disrespect. I always have to give this disclaimer. No disrespect to anyone right now. So many people are very prolific in what they do. But my point of reference is Langston Hughes with his brevity. 4 or 5 lines and he's done. You know, my point of reference is Wordsworth. Robert Burns, like a red rose.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeats. My point of reference is those poets, that use of language, whereas a woman knew she was being courted. She knew she was being seduced without me having said, "Oh, I'm gonna stick it in you. I'm gonna bite you. I'm gonna."
Right. Exactly.
You know, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I want to see that, I watch Cinemax. If I do that. And that's just me. Like I said, there's some people like that. That's cool. That's not how I write. That's not how I perform. So, I just think just for me. And I happen to do, and it's doing too bad because a lot of people seem to like what I do. So, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I sell books, you know.
Right. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you on the serious tip, though. That's the way to be. That is definitely the way to be. That's definitely the way to write. And again, like you said, no disrespect to other poets, but I mean, you have it very deep, my man, and I really like that. And outside of the fact that you actually already answered my next question, what or who inspires your words, which is excellent, you know, which basically life, looking at your relationships with women, looking at, you know, Cinemax, you know, all, you know, and then going into Langston Hughes, Robert Burns. I mean, you're one of the first poets that I've interviewed that paid homage to the poets of old. You know what I mean? That's wonderful.
That's because, like I said, we're so caught up in this, and now this is going to sound bad, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all.
Right.
Poetry. If we go back to the history of poetry did a couple of things. Poetry courted and aroused. That's all one category.
Mm-hmm.
And poetry enlightened. Even when someone was angry, they were able to use the words with enough passion that the person could get the gist of what they were saying. If they were being sarcastic or whatever the case may be. This era that we're in, what we call poetry, where people curse and use expletives, and I'm sorry. No. Because I did my research. Langston Hughes didn't do that. They could call somebody a name without calling somebody out their name. They could do that.
Yep.
They could use a word like a miscreant, or say that you were minuscule. You know what I'm saying? Or you have the intelligence of half of an amoeba, or something like that.
Right.
You know, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to get preachy, but you know, that's just I'm very passionate about that. But that's where it comes from. That's where it comes from, and people don't do the research. I even took AZ. I'm gonna tell you something funny.
What's that?
I'm gonna tell you something real funny. You're gonna love it.
All right.
And I'm not gonna say the guy's name because I'm not gonna give him any credit.
All right.
But he took a shot at me. He went on and he said, and I'm gonna quote what he said. He said, "Yes, I heard that you." He said, "Yeah, you sell books. Yeah, you're kind of popular. But," and he said, "Yeah, you don't curse and you use metaphors and similes. But I'm a spoken word artist, so I can touch the because he described me accurately. He thought he was insulting, but everything he said was true. I am kind of popular, which I'm not ashamed of. Thank goodness. There's some people that like me. I do sell a nice lot of books. I do okay for a poet, you know, but that's my own relentless nature, and I don't curse in my poetry. I don't. So, but anyway, I just had to share that with you real quick. Cause I can share a whole bunch of funny stuff that occurs to me. That happens to me all the time. But you know, I like your line of questioning, so I'm gonna get back on subject.
Well, actually, before I get back to the question, I need to tell you this though. Because this show is taped, and I love interviewing my authors. If you want to get a little preachy, if there's something you want to say, by all means, say it, because it's going to get on. It's not going to be edited out. Nothing. This is me and you talking pretty much.
Okay.
So just don't even worry about that. So I need to ask you this question, Mr. Poet. When you're not melting hearts with your words, do you like to write anything else?
Yes. Most of my work is pastoral. I'm into. I'm a little weird. So I write about how the sun merges into the moon. I write about how it snows. I write about how I miss my father. You know. I wrote about how it was to be locked up. I wrote about how it was for my daughter to be in a coma for a month. Dedicate poems to my brother, my mother. You know.
I don't think that's weird at all. I really don't. I mean again, that's deep, my friend. That's very deep.
I like haikus. Listen, I am a lover of haikus. So I write haikus about anything.
Cool.
Sports, weather, video games. I write. It's just funny. This whole love thing and sexual stuff just caught on and notice, because if you get a chance to read the Confessional Heart of a Man, matter of fact, when you inbox me your address, I'm gonna send you the Confessional Heart of a Man.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna send you a package.
I appreciate it.
The Confessional and the Book of 24 Orgasms. I'm gonna send you a package.
All right.
And you're gonna see, like, Rhea's my friend. So, and Rhea's been with me from the Confessional all the way through this next book I'm in, the Chocolate Rose too, and what have you.
In fact, in fact, before you continue on, let me go on to say it's because of Rhea we're talking right now, and I really appreciate her for that, because I'm really enjoying the conversation. So go ahead.
Let me tell you. Let me say that, like I always say, Rhea Alexis Banks rocks. Her along with Mary Rogers and there are a host of other people, but those primary two. And Rhea knows everybody in the literary world that needs to be known. So she's helped me tremendously. Otherwise, I'd be behind the curve. Yeah, I'd be on the other side of the curve. So she appreciates my work and sees my effort. And that's why I'm here. You're right. So thank you, Rhea. You should have said thank you. And I always thank her. But I just write. I love to write, but my primary purpose in writing some of the poetry I do is twofold. Number one, it's therapeutic for me. It's make sure I don't reach out and slap somebody or something like that sometimes, or I'm not too angry, or you know, not anything like that. You know, my hormones don't get the best of me or anything. But also, I love, and let me get my voice right. I love when women read and write my work. I love when they say that I made them feel a certain type of way. I love that. I mean, that's the whole purpose of writing. Besides yourself and doing the artistic nature for yourself, I love when women do that. It's even better, too, when guys do it, too. But I like when women do that. I like when they smile and they show up at shows and they look great. I like that. So please, ladies, when you hear this, keep on doing it. I like that. That's why I do it, HD. All right, I can get my regular voice now.
Oh, you're fine. You are fine. Because they also do, you mentioned the men. A lot of men should read your poetry too, because the thing is, it makes the men take notice of how they're treating their women.
Yeah.
And your poetry makes them take notice.
Thank you. I've had that, and you know what? This book of 24 Orgasms. I've been fortunate that there have been men who bought the book and liked the book and what have you. So I've had guys come up to me after a performance and, man, I like the way you did that. You didn't say this and say that. You did it this way, real smooth, like. I said, well, thank you. You know, I had a guy come up to me, man. The guy came up to me and said that to me, and, you know, that's been the thing. Basically, I've been really blessed and fortunate. I have God's gift and in my hand and in my voice, and I'm just trying to bring His plan to fruition. I'm fortunate, and I got a great base around me, people who believe in me. When I was just Mark, there are people who really want them just to walk in the room around me, and they believe in me. So that's why I kind of go hard the way I do, and try to be the best that I can. Because I owe.
Okay. See, well, like I say, that's what makes you a poet. That's what makes you a good poet, a good person, and all that meshes together. Now, I read the Chicago Sun-Times article too, by the way.
Wow.
And, I'm sorry.
I said, oh
And
wow.
and you know, from talking to you just now, reading your stuff, you know, that whole Langston Hughes 50 Cent mashup is very accurate. You know, so I'm sorry. That I tip my hat off to you, my friend, and I really that's real talk. That's definitely real talk. So,
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, the pleasure's all mine, brother. So that's not a problem. So my question for now is, do you have any advice for any young poets coming after you?
I do. Listen, take this very seriously. People are going to tell you that a book of poetry, you can't do anything in it. You need to do something. If you believe in your poetry and what you write, keep writing. Show up to open mics where you can format and perform. Get your money up. Have your income coming in with your work, your career, whatever the case may be, because initially you will need to support yourself while you're trying to get your poetry books, or whatever CDs, or whatever case you're trying to get it off the ground. So you're not disappointed and you're not just putting all your eggs in one basket. You know, it's very good to have that. But in the end, don't pay attention to what people say to you, because they're going to tell you need to write urban fiction, and that may not be your thing. You may just be a poet. I don't mean just like that's all, but poet lane may be your lane. Stay in that lane. Get better at it. Be the best at it you can. Hear the noise, but don't listen to it. Go with that. Put God first. Be relentless. And write. And write different stuff. Don't fall into the thing you see some people when they write a certain way and you mimic. Find your style. It might be a combination of a bunch of other styles, and it was something of your own personality, your own personal life, experiences thrown into it. But find your own style. If you try to be unique as possible, and you can't lose that way. And if the worst thing can happen is if you have a few people that like your poetry and you feel good about writing or signing or performing, what have you, then you've done what you were supposed to do as a poet. You've done it. That's all.
All I want to know is, how can I be down? But enough about that. I digress. Coming up next, we're going to talk all about email scams, and I have a couple of statements from authors. On my website, when you buy Late Murder at 10, get the sequel Garth from the Heart of a Virtual Demon for free. Buy the Sergeant Wise Guy Chronicles and get the sequel for free when it's released. The deal is offered online only and lasts until September. Go to the online store page for details. That's www.hdcampbell3.net. First, Michelle Michaels offered you a piece of herself in a piece of me. Then she teased you with a little sexual seduction. And now she's taking you on a road of emotions. Road of Emotions, coming soon to your favorite bookstore or Z's website. It's all about the writer's technology in your technology corner. Come back to the author's corner. I want to talk to you very candidly. I'm usually talking about new equipment like my laptop that I'm over here on, or a couple of other things. Today I want to talk to you about something very serious. It's about email scams. Recently, I've gotten emails from friends, actually co-authors, co-workers, or what have you, saying, help, I'm stuck in England, or I'm stuck in Libya, or I'm stuck somewhere, and I need money to get home. I'm at the embassy, please call. Now, as part of my trip, I actually got stuck. I had money, but I was just mainly stuck. Personally, in that sense, if I'm really stuck and I need help, I'll do I'll call. I'll call and say, hey, I'm stuck here. For my day job, I actually had to do that because I wasn't going to be able to make my shift. When people are really stuck, they'll call you. They won't send an email. They won't ask you to give me your bank account number so I can draw some money out. If I'm going to call, say, hey, blah, 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 I'm away. These scams come out all the time. In addition to those, you'll get those saying, I have a relative who died and please send X amount of dollars, X amount of cash. But this particular one I'm talking about with the person being stuck, people are actually hijacking your email. And they're hijacking your email and they're emailing all of the friends in your address book. And when they're doing that, and a lot of times they're successful, but as authors, we need to be very vigilant because we do a lot of book tours, we go a lot of places, we do a lot of things. Like I said, my author's corner was on location from St. Louis, so we do a lot of traveling. One way we can use to protect ourselves is if you get an email and you have your friend's number, call them and say, hey, how you doing? Are you stuck? Then if it becomes a bigger problem, simple things like changing your email password or even just talking to your provider like Yahoo or MSN or whoever your provider is. I have a couple of statements, one from Raheem Brooks. And usually, what's your reaction?
Because of my background, it's laughable to me. I immediately, I laugh because, the last thing that anyone would do if they are indeed stranded, they're not going to just send out random emails to strangers. Like, who does that? It's almost like an individual has bought an email list or hacked into someone's system and just sent out a bunch of emails. It's one of the simpler crimes or scams to prevent yourself from being a victim of, because it's almost like teaching your kid not to talk to strangers. I mean, you teach your middle schooler who's starting to go to school on their own, hey, don't talk to strangers, go to school, come from school, come in the house. If they're home alone at this time, lock the door, don't open the door. I don't care if it's your Aunt Rosie, you don't open the door, you call me XYZ. It's just that same principle. If someone sends you an email that you absolutely don't know, how could you possibly feel compelled to put your credit card into, or send money to someone that you absolutely don't know? So that particular scam, as far as receiving email, is fairly easy to disregard and not be a victim of.
You're so right, Raheem. And in addition, I have a written statement from author Sabrina Williams. At first, I was a little frantic thinking someone would be in distress. Then I realized the person could be presenting a scam. So I asked the person to go to the foreign embassy and let me speak with an official. After that response, they never responded again. I knew then it was a scam. So bottom line, call the foreign embassy. Never take any. It's just like, again, like Raheem said, it's just like telling kids not to talk to strangers. Don't ever tell strangers where you live. We as adults need to do the same. Thank you, and we'll be back with a final thought a preview of my next few shows, a few more outtakes, and close. Finding love over the internet is stressful, but for one serial killer, it's murder. Mark Alexander has to track down a cyber serial killer before his body count rises, but tracking him through cyberspace is harder than he thinks. By God, from the heart of a virtual demon at your favorite bookstore or from these websites. By Late Murder at 10. Ex-investigative reporter turned audio engineer Mark Alexander is brought back into the business when the top news anchor at the station he works is tragically shot by a masked gunman, and the co-anchor is arrested for engineering the murder, but Mark Alexander smells a classic frame-up. Now he has to face old friends and confront his demons to get the truth uncovered. But as each controversy gets uncovered, each turn could be Mark's last. Buy Late Murder at 10 at your favorite bookstore or these websites. Welcome back to the Author's Corner. Before I say goodbye, I want to tell you I had a wonderful week in St. Louis and a wonderful chat with LaShonda Hoffman. Also, too, in addition to a lot of shows we'll be working on this summer, which is going to be amazing. My next show will be Miss Delia McCutcheon. She's a woman who has survived domestic violence as well as abuse, as well as prison, and has just gone through hell and back to become the success she is. Then after that, later this summer, I'll be doing a special show on domestic violence with Miss Michelle Green and The One Essence. These shows will hopefully inspire you and compel you to know that no matter what your situation is, you can find success and move past your situation. Before I go, I want to give you a few more outtakes. And also, I want to say goodbye and see you next time on the Author's Corner with H. On my way home to St. Louis to film the Author's Corner, this is one of the outtakes we're taking. In 3, 2, 1. Say hi, Skylar. We're here at the bus station in Joplin, waiting for our connecting route to St. Louis. We got a layover. The time is currently, according to my phone, 3:40. Yeah, we still got quite a while to be here. As we see, we're leaving Rolla, and we're headed,
And we see the great view.
We don't see no great view, but we are going.
I said view.
Oh yeah, we see the views, and we are headed to St. Louis, where we're about an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Not so loud though. Say I love you, Daddy. No, say it loud. I love you, Daddy.
I love you.
I love you, Daddy.
I love you.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm gonna miss you, Skylar.
I'll miss you too.
You gonna be good for your grandmother?
Yes.
Gonna be good for your great-grandparents?
Yes.
You gonna be good for your grandfather?
Yes.
You gonna be good for your uncle?
Yes, 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 yes.
Be good for everybody, okay?
Okay, I promise.
Remember, me and your mother are always with you, okay? She's looking up from above, and you can always call me, okay?
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.